I want to talk about something that I continue to come across in my work with law enforcement personnel. Many times, what happens is after someone has been suspended because of a policy violation or something has happened at work where it has led to an internal investigation, there's quite a bit of difficulty, not only at the time that you are removed from the department, but even more so once you are allowed to return back to the police department. And what happens is that many times these officers have such a difficult time reintegrating back to the culture of the police department, and it creates a lot of confusion, a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, and many times there's a lot of hurt that the officer is feeling after having gone through a very difficult process. It seems to me, from my experiences, that many of these officers have felt abandoned by the police department, have felt as if their character has been attacked, and in various ways have almost questioned who they are as individuals because of the outcome of an internal investigation. Now, you are within your right to feel that way. Nobody gets to tell you to not feel upset or feel hurt or feel any type of resentment because of the outcomes. You are well within your right to feel that way. Now, maintaining that same level of energy moving forward may not necessarily be the most conducive for you. And maintaining that resentment and not properly working through that hurt is what's going to be a little bit more difficult for you if it is that you want to continue working for that police department or in the career in general. A couple of things that you can do to reintegrate back yourself to the police department after a suspension, for example, for one is have a very strong support system around you, whether that's family and friends or people that you can truly go to and express your frustrations when you are feeling frustrated. That's something that I would highly encourage. So create yourself a team around you that's going to support you through this process. The other thing too is that try to maintain your level of professionalism. So the natural inclination can be to return back to work, and you're going to put in the bare minimum and see it as a paycheck. And you certainly can get away with that, right? But the reality is that many people around you are going to be watching you to see how you respond to the adverse experience with the internal investigation or the suspension. So many times, even supervisors or other people that in administration or even your colleagues are simply going to be paying attention to how it is that you respond to this incident. So, with that in mind, try to minimize the amounts of times that you're talking about the details of the investigation or the suspension or anything related to that incident with your colleagues or other coworkers. Because oftentimes what will happen is that you will find yourself in a place of anger, and it's going to create the opportunity for those wounds to open up again, and it may not be the most conducive way for you to appropriately describe what it is that you just went through. And lastly, it's seek mental health support or access your employee assistance program if that's what you need. But at minimum, having someone that can objectively provide you with feedback and objectively provide you with information that can help you heal through this process can be extremely beneficial. Remember, depending on where you are in the States, having a conversation with a mental health provider, a licensed mental health provider, that's a privileged conversation. That's a conversation where the provider is bound by the laws of confidentiality. So at times when you're going through an internal investigation, you are essentially told don't talk to anyone about it. Well, the exemption would be you can talk to a mental health provider about it, and that conversation, to a degree, will be protected under the laws of confidentiality. So again, get yourself a strong support system around you. Maintain your level of professionalism when you do return back to work. Try to minimize the amount of times that you're talking about these incidents with colleagues or people at work. And lastly, seek appropriate mental health support to get you through these very difficult times.